Hello everyone, welcome back to Atreyu Crochet. So in today's video I will be bringing you yet another easy crochet scarf for beginners tutorial. I am starting to get the sense that you guys really like these scarves that you can crochet in 1 to 2 hours, so I'm just going to continue bringing them until you guys tell me to stop. So things you will need include some camouflage yarn if you want to make it out of camouflage using the camouflage color. I will leave a link to this yarn in particular in the description, so be sure to check that link out. Okay, pair of scissors, darning, weaving, tapestry needle obviously, and this yarn calls for a 5.5 millimeter crochet hook that is US. However, you guys already know me, I'm going to use a 7 millimeter US hook. Okay, let's get to it. Alright, so we're going to start with a slip knot. So just wrap it around your finger, twist, exchange. Make sure the tail there is long enough so that we can weave it into the scarf with ease at the end. Okay, wrap this over. Now we're going to pull this yarn, that loop, over that one and off your finger like this, while pulling up on the one that's still on your finger. Then we will insert our size 7 millimeter US crochet hook, or the 5.5 if you decide to go with that. Alright, so the multiples for this scarf is such that you want a multiple of 10, and then you're going to add 5 more chains for the foundation chain. So you could start out with 10 chains, which we're going to do, and then add the 5, or you could do 10 times 2, which is 20, and then add the 5. It all depends on how wide you want your scarf. 20 was too wide for me, especially once I added the 5 for the foundation chain. That made 25 stitches. That was way too wide for me for a scarf, so I'm going to go with the 10. So let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And I've made my chains kind of loose so that I can enter them very easily. Alright, but we're not done yet. We have 5 more chains to create for the foundation chain. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so this is how wide my scarf is going to be. Now working into the second chain from the hook. So this is the first chain from the hook. This is the 1, 2, the second chain from the hook. I'm going to not yarn over, but just enter the stitch like that. Now yarn over, pull through to the front. I have 2 loops. I'm going to yarn over and I'm going to go through 2. So I'm creating a single crochet. Okay, now I'm going to go into the next stitch and create another single crochet. Okay, that's 2 single crochets. I'm going to go into the next stitch and make a 3rd single crochet, and I'm going to go into the next stitch and create that 4th single crochet. Alright, so essentially that chain 1, we have a chain 1 on the end. Okay, it's that first chain that you skipped. Okay, it's that first chain from the hook. Remember, we skipped that. That's going to count as 1 stitch, and it's going to count as a single crochet. So 1 and then 2, which is that first single crochet that we made, 3, 4, and 5. So we have 5 stitches together. Okay, now we're about to switch the stitch type. So now we're going to crochet 1 double crochet in the next 5 stitches. So what that means is you want to yarn over, enter the next chain, yarn over, pull through to the front, 3 loops, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2. That's 1. Yarn over, go into the next chain, yarn over, pull through to the front, 3 loops, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2. That's 2. Remember, we have 5 double crochets to make. Yarn over, enter the next chain, create that double crochet, that's 3, yarn over, go into the next chain, yarn over, create that double crochet, that's 4, and then finally yarn over, go into the next chain and make that double crochet, and that's 5. Okay, so we have 5 stitches on the end. Okay, we have that chain 1, or that one chain that we skipped, which is counting as a single crochet, plus these 4 single crochets, so that's 5 stitches, plus these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 double crochets. Now we're going to go back to the single crochet and put 1 in the next 5 stitches. So next chain, we'll get a single crochet, that's 1. Next chain, we'll get a single crochet, that's 2. Next chain, we'll get a single crochet, that's 3. Next chain, we'll get a single crochet, that's 4. And our final chain there, we'll get a single crochet. That is 5. Okay, so this is what it looks like. Alright, so now we're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. We're going to turn our work. This chain 3 will count as a double crochet. Okay, so that's stitch right there, that chain 3, which counts as a double crochet, is for that single crochet, that last single crochet that we made. Let's see if I can get a little bit more light just so you guys can see. Hopefully that helps. So this chain 3 counts for that last single crochet we made. So now we're going to put 1 double crochet in the next 4 stitches. So just put a double crochet. Okay, next stitch, yarn over, slice the icing off the top of the cake, yarn over, pull through to the front, 3 loops, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2. Next stitch, yarn over, slice the icing off the top of the cake, you guys. Yarn over, pull through to the front, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2. Right now, we have 4 stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4, okay? We have 1 more, and we're going to slice the icing off the top of the cake, and then make that double crochet. So we have 5 stitches, and all of these are double crochets, and that chain 3 is counted as a double crochet. And I don't know if you've noticed, but we've put 5 double crochets into the 5 single crochets of the previous round. Now we're getting to the first double crochet of the previous round. These next 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and guess what stitch we're going to put in them? That's right, we're going to put single crochets in them. So for this next stitch, which happens to be a double crochet, slice the icing off the top of the cake. We don't yarn over first. Now we yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, go through 2. Next stitch gets a single crochet, that's 2. Next stitch gets a single crochet, that's 3. Next stitch gets a single crochet, that's 4. And next stitch gets a single crochet, that's 5. Those are our 5 single crochets. Now, if you look at row 1, we're back to the single crochets, and it's now time for this row, row 2, for us to go back to the double crochet. So yarn over, enter that first single crochet and put a double crochet. Enter the next single crochet, put a double crochet, that's 2. Enter the next single crochet, put a double crochet, that's 3. Enter the next single crochet and put a double crochet. Make sure you get the top of it, be a little tight. Okay, that'll be 3. And then this is going to be the toughest one, okay, because right now we're at that chain 1, so I'm just going to say just try to get into that chain anywhere you can. And sorry, we're making a double crochet, yarn over. I was so focused on getting into the chain. Yeah, enter that chain anywhere you can and just make your final double crochet. Okay, and we won't have to worry about that toughened ending anymore. Okay, whenever you end with double crochets, you start the next row by chaining 1. So yarn over, chain 1, turn your work. Okay, and so now we're just gonna repeat, except for in this very first double crochet we're going to put a single crochet. So into that same stitch, that same first stitch that this chain 1 is coming out of, we're going to put a single crochet. So that's the 1, next stitch, second single crochet, next stitch, third single crochet, next stitch, fourth single crochet, next stitch, fifth single crochet. Okay, so notice on the current row we're always putting the opposite stitch into the stitches below. Okay, so for example, below we had double crochets, so for this current row we decide to put single crochets. Now we're moving right here to this center section, these next 5 stitches, which are single crochets. So now we're going to put double crochets. So next stitch gets a double crochet. That's 1, next stitch, 2, next stitch, 3, next stitch, 4, and next stitch, 5. You should already know that now you're going to move to single crochets, and that down here that means that these should be double crochets because you always put the opposite stitch in the stitch below. Okay, so you see right here that yes, that is a double crochet, and that means it is indeed time to switch to the single crochet. So we don't yarn over first and just put a single crochet. Next stitch, that's the second one, next stitch, it's the third one, next stitch, that's the fourth one, and then for this chain 3 we just go into the top chain of that chain 3, and that's where we put our 5th single crochet. Alright, now it's time for row 4. So because we ended with single crochets, or that shorter or smaller stitch, now we know that this next row we're going to start with the taller stitch, which is the double crochet. Okay, but we know that we have to chain 3 because the chain 3 is what counts as the double crochet. So we chain 3, turn our work, and remember, just like before, this chain 3 counts as the stitch for that last single crochet of the previous row, and now we just put 1 double crochet into the next 4 stitches for a total of 5 stitches. Okay, that's 4 and then 5, and then without even looking, because I know I have 5 double crochets, I know that this next stitch I need to switch to single crochet, and that means that what I'm crocheting into in the previous row should be a double crochet. My hand is covering it, but let's look now. Okay, yep, so indeed that's a double crochet. This last stitch that I crocheted into, that's the last single crochet, and then I switched to the double crochet. So that means that now I crochet single crochet. Remember, it's always the opposite. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now switch, double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, and that final single crochet is the 5th one. Just go into the top of it. Okay, I'm going to do one more row because I spoil you guys always just to make sure you got the pattern. Alright, so I ended with the larger stitch, so I know I'm going to go to the single crochets. Okay, and that ending stitch, or I guess technically once I turn it, that beginning stitch, I need to chain out enough to match the stitch. So since I'm going to be doing single crochets next, I'm going to chain 1, which will not count as a stitch, turn my work, and then in that same stitch, that very first stitch, the same stitch that that chain 1 is coming out of, I'm going to slice the icing off the top of the cake and make a single crochet. And then that way, when I come back this way, I'll have that single crochet to crochet into, a double crochet in fact. Alright, so that's the first single crochet. Now I have 4 more, so that's 2, 3, 4, and 5. Switch, double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Switch, single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, and top chain of that chain 3 gets the 5th single crochet. 5. Because these are single crochets, I chain 3, 1, 2, 3, because I'm going to start with double crochets. Okay, and that is the pattern, you guys. Okay, So it's a very easy pattern, and basically you're just stacking double crochets on top of single crochets and single crochets on top of double crochets, and you're just alternating with each row. So it really doesn't get much more simple than that, right? So I'm going to be working on this scarf for a little while until it gets to my desired length, and then I'll check back in with you guys, okay? See you there. Alright, so I'm going to work a couple of more rows just to make sure you guys got it, and then I'm going to finish the scarf off. So I just made single crochets, so I'm going to chain 3 for the next row. 1, 2, 3. Turn your work. That chain 3 counts as the first of the 5 double crochets I'm going to make, so the next one will go into the next stitch for 2, 3, 4, 5. Now it's time to switch to single crochets, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now it's time to switch back to double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. The 5th one goes into that final single crochet. Since I just made double crochets, that means I'm about to switch to single crochet, so I chain 1, turn my work, and I put that first single crochet in the very first stitch. That's the same stitch that that chain 1 is coming out of. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Switch to double crochets. Next one is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Switch to single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, and don't forget that the 5th single crochet goes in the top chain of that chain 3 on the end. 5. Chain 1, cut your yarn, pull through fast enough, grab your darning weaving tapestry needle, get the yarn through it, and then we'll just work through some stitches in one direction. I kind of like to work in the center of the stitches. Alright, and then go in the other direction, going through slightly different areas, and I like to come out through the side, and then cut that down. We have the tail at the very beginning when we made the slip knot, so we will get that onto our darning weaving tapestry needle without splitting it, so you can twist and fold that way, and then kind of work it through the eye of the needle like that. Alright, and then once again just working through some stitches in one direction. You'll pull through, and then going back through some nearby stitches, same stitches just in slightly different locations. Coming out the side, cut it down, be sure not to cut your scarf, and there you have it. So yeah guys, this is a very cool pattern. When you look at it, you see, okay, there's something going on here, because you don't just see the straight line across, and it's because there's this sort of staggered effect happening. But I really like this scarf. So I'll zoom out a little bit just so you can kind of see it. Okay, I will get a picture like I always do of the scarf so you can see it better. But yeah, this is a very easy, quick scarf, and I really like it because you have the pattern going on because of the camouflage yarn, but there's also this sort of staggered effect because you're mixing up double crochets with single crochets and you're alternating, okay? And you're stacking one type of stitch on top of the other and you're changing it up every single row. So don't forget, I will leave a link to this yarn in the description box, so if you want to make a camel scarf, then feel free to check out that link. Alright, that is going to be it for this video, but I will see you in the next one. In the meantime, happy crocheting.